Today we will be talking about the work a wildlife biologist does and doing a small wildlife survey of your school with you. We hope this will inspire you to think more about your environment and what you can do to ensure it is taken care of into the future. Our names are Carly Starr and Natalie Waller, and together we have worked as wildlife biologists for 25 years. This job has taken us all around Australia and to many different countries in the world. We both always loved animals as children and decided this was the sort of work we wanted to do when we grew up. We have worked with primates, crocodiles, elephants, rats, possums, koalas, and many more. There are lots of different types of work wildlife biologists do. They can work in zoos with animals or out in the bush, collecting information to improve our understanding of what animals need to survive in their environment and what we can do to ensure their survival into the future. Today we will be talking about the native wildlife which occurs where you live. Australia is very unique because it is an island. 90% of the animals which live here do not occur anywhere else in the world. Sadly, in the last 500 years, a very large percentage of animals have become extinct in Australia. Today, 86 species are currently critically endangered and may easily become extinct. The most recent known extinction in Australia was a small native rodent called the Bramblecae melames, which you can see on this slide. It is believed this species became extinct mostly due to climate change. Once an animal is extinct, it is lost from the planet forever. One well-known extinction was the Tasmanian tiger. The Tasmanian tiger survived in Tasmania until the 1930s. The last known Tasmanian tiger, called Benjamin, died in Hobart Zoo in 1936. The animal was hunted because it was blamed for killing sheep. An ecosystem is a community of plants and animals all interacting with one another and their environment. It is important for our health and survival that we take care of our plants and animals. When animals become extinct, this can affect all the other animals and plants in the ecosystem. For example, when we take too many fish from our waterways and put pollution into the ocean, we have less food to eat. Many people hate bats. However, bats are very important in their ecosystem. They play some very important roles. Many species of bats eat night-flying insects, including many agricultural pests on farms. Some bats can eat 70% of their weight of insects every single night. One little brown bat can eat up to 1,000 mosquito-sized bugs in 1 hour. Many bats also eat mosquitoes, which reduces the number of mosquitoes that are likely to bite you. Mosquitoes can cause many diseases to humans, such as malaria and dengue fever. Flying foxes also have a very important job. They help pollinate many plants, such as mangoes, avocados, and vanilla. When the bats eat fruit, they can also spread the seeds very far away after it is eaten and pooped out. In North Queensland, we are seeing many of our animals becoming threatened by extinction. Some of the big problems for our wildlife are animals which are not native to Australia. For example, cats kill millions of our native wildlife every year. Each cat can kill between 5 and 30 animals every single day. One of the most important things you can do if you own a cat is keep them indoors so they don't kill our native wildlife. This is very important at night time. Plants which come from other countries and not from Australia are called weeds. Weeds are very bad for our environment. They can take over where native plants used to live. This can change the environment for animals in that ecosystem and make it very hard for them to survive. Weeds are also a problem for farming. For example, some types of weed grasses can cause big problems for cattle farmers. When there are wildfires, they burn differently to native plants and can lead to very big fires which burn very hot in our landscape. Many plants become weeds because they look pretty and people want to plant them in their gardens. Then they start to take over and birds can spread seeds, causing them to grow in areas they should not occur. The best thing you can do is plant native plants in your garden at home. These will also make the native birds very happy. We rely on meat in our diet. However, it is important when we are growing cows and making them fat, we don't have too many cows for our grass. Having enough grass for our native animals is important too. Many native animals eat grass seeds, sleep in thick grass, and hide from predators. One thing we can do is ensure we only have a certain number of cows in paddocks to not remove all the grass. Sometimes we should also rest areas where cattle usually eat grass for it to recover. Wildfires are a big threat to many animals and people in North Queensland where we live. Fires kill many animals every year. Sometimes you might see firemen on the side of the road. They are often burning off areas near roads before there is a real high fire risk. This is to protect us on and near roads during the fire season. It is important we all know what to do when there is a fire in our environment. Wildfire are a big risk in October and November every year. However, some burning is also very important for the environment when it is controlled and doesn't burn too hot through the bush. The ecosystem needs a good balance of small fires to stay healthy. Pollution is when contaminants enter our natural environment and cause it to change in a negative way. Air, water, and noise pollution have a terrible impact on our native wildlife. Plastic pollution is choking our beautiful waterways and killing many animals. Animals can eat our rubbish or become entangled. Turtles often eat plastic because it looks like their natural prey, the jellyfish. Birds eat many plastic items such as plastic bottle tops. We can all contribute to reducing this problem on our environment, such as reducing the amount of plastic we use. Some small changes like using reusable shopping bags, avoiding disposable straws, and thinking of alternative decorations to balloons at our next birthday party all make a difference. Recycle what you can.
There are many ways in which you can find wildlife. Some species are easy to find, while others are more difficult to find. Wildlife biologists sometimes set traps to capture particular wildlife species. Cage traps are used to catch large rodents, possums, small macropods, and sometimes cats or dogs. Animals are lured into the trap using a bait such as a sandwich or a piece of chicken. The bait is placed behind a treadle that closes the trap when the animal stands on it. Pitfall traps are a bucket dug into the ground with a plastic fence that runs about 10 metres each side of the bucket. When the animal encounters the fence, it runs along the fence and into the bucket. Species such as small rodents, dasyurids, which are also known as carnivorous marsupials, skinks, geckos, and other lizards and frogs are captured in pitfall traps. Occasionally, people catch echidnas in pitfall traps, but they are incredibly difficult and spiky to get out. Elliott, or Sherman traps, are small box traps made out of aluminium. These traps are generally used to target small rodents or marsupials. Elliott traps are baited with peanut butter, which is placed behind the treadle. When the animal stands on the treadle, the door closes. It is important to put these traps into grass or under leaf litter because the traps can get hot in the sun. Sometimes we catch prostyle possums in Elliott traps. They can barely fit and the door never closes. We use funnel traps to target lizards, snakes, and frogs. Occasionally we will catch a small dasyurid or mouse in the funnel trap, but mostly they chew their way out. The funnel traps are placed against the pitfall trap fence and are covered with reflective material to keep them cool. Harp traps are used to catch bats. Fine strings run vertically across the harp trap, and when the bats hit these, they fall into the white bag below. The harp traps are put along tracks where bats are likely to fly. To find birds, we visually look and listen, as each bird has a distinctive call. If birds are far away, we use binoculars to get a closer look. We use spotlighting to find animals that we may not easily catch in traps, or animals that are arboreal, meaning that they climb. Species we commonly find during spotlighting are possums, gliders, snakes, frogs, geckos, kangaroos, and wallabies. We also do daytime active searching of habitat, lifting logs and looking for animal signs. We often encounter snakes, lizards, wallabies, kangaroos, echidnas, birds in their nests, and frogs. To target mammals that may be very shy or too timid to go into traps, we use camera traps. We place bait in front of the camera, and then when the animal comes into view, the camera trap takes a photograph. A huge range of mammal species are detected using camera traps. We also sometimes get photographs of birds, snakes, lizards, pigs, horses, cows, and sometimes cane toads. You can also identify animals in unusual ways, such as getting animal bones out of owl pellets, otherwise known as owl vomit, identifying animal poo, yes, each species is slightly different, or using animal skulls we find in the field.